What up, my friends? It's the day before Thanksgiving. Came in early, doing a few cuts. I still got to do a little bit of shopping for tomorrow's festivities with the children. But I had a gentleman. I have a barbershop, right? Yada yada yada. Anyway, I have a barbershop, and yesterday this gentleman comes in, and he looks like he needs a haircut and a beard trim, but he's got like a big bag with him, and he didn't look that well put together, but looked like he was struggling a little bit, but he comes in and I'm like, hey, good afternoon, how you doing, how can I help you? And he's like, I'm doing good. Well, actually, I'm really struggling. And so I've had that happen a few times when people come in here and say that to me. And usually they either want money or a haircut, right? And a lot of times I'll give them a haircut, or I'll give them a little donation, if I have the money, 10, 20 bucks, whatever, five, whatever, you know what I mean? And so I was waiting for the hey, if I got this to sell, or I got, I need some money, or could you do a haircut? I'm applying for jobs. And usually I'll oblige, right? And that wasn't it at all. So he says he's struggling, he's going through this. I mean, like within 5 seconds of being like, hey, how you doing? What can I do for you today? He told me he's struggling. He's going through a divorce. He has some court cases. And so I was like, waiting for the question. And he's like, yeah. And, so I'm a hairdresser, and I'm looking for a job. I'm just wondering if you're hiring. And I'm not hiring, right? First off, I'm never hiring hairdressers, first off, right? And second off, like just the way that he came at it with like, oh, I'm struggling, I'm this, I'm that. And, I mean, he just listed off all these reasons basically not to hire him, right? He said he's going through it emotionally, he's homeless now because he got thrown out of his house or the apartment, whatever it was, and now he's got a court case. And I was like, nah, unfortunately I'm not hiring. I mean, fortunately for me, I wouldn't have hired him anyway. But, I tried to give him some advice on the way out because, I was like, well, there's a salon over there. He's like, oh, I don't like working for salons. I'm like, yeah, but you're a hairdresser. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to work in a barbershop or whatever, right? And he's like, well, I have an appointment across the street because there's another barbershop across the square here. There's actually several. But anyway, and he's like, yeah, I got an appointment over there for an interview. And I was like, hey, man, just some friendly advice. When he asks you how you're doing, don't tell him the truth. Just say, oh, I'm doing great. And leave it at that, right? Don't tell him that you're struggling, that your wife has left you, that you're homeless, that you got a court case, probably for who knows what, right? You got thrown out of the girl's house, so could be some domestic thing. I don't know. You know what I mean? I didn't go into it. But I was just like, you don't want to lead with all your poison first, Maybe lead with like, oh, I do color, and I can cut men and women's hair, blah 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 blah. Right? Like go with your strengths. Don't lead with your weakness, like, oh, I'm going through it. And like I thought you were a homeless dude asking me for spare change. You understand what I'm saying? And who's gonna hire you like that? And I told him, I said, hey, go down to Carl Roberts over here. I said, there's a salon across the street. He's like, oh, I'll never work for a salon. I'm like, well, you can go down to Carl Roberts up the road. I said, that's where I got my start. I said, he'll hire almost anyone. And he's like, well, is that up past Hannaford's? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I don't have a car. I'm like, dude, it's like literally from here, it's probably like a 15-minute walk. Tops. You know what I mean? If you're moving pretty fast, you could probably do it in 12. It's probably like a mile. Anyway, it's just, yeah, I was like, and he said it's too far to walk there, right? But he said that he's hurting, he's bumming, he's got no money, he's going through it, but he doesn't want to walk 15, maybe even 20 minutes up the road to get more than likely a definite job, right? And then he'd have to walk all the way over there every day, he said, and I'm like, well, obviously you're gonna continue to be going through it. But I just tried to tell him, oh, well, there's another place over here. There's one. Oh, I went over there. I went over there. Blah 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 blah. And so I was like, well, your next appointment, man, don't lead with all your faults. Don't lead with your emotions. Don't lead with, oh, woe is me, right? No one wants to hire a woe is me. You know what I mean? They know you're going to be problems, because something's going to happen. Oh, I can't come in today. Can you call my clients? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. People are in this victim mentality, right? The self-victimization. And like if you want things to happen for you, no one, absolutely nobody is going to come to save you. Nobody is coming to help you. You have to help and save yourself. There's no other option. A lot of my old friends, very unhealthy, bad relationships, multiple, you know, infidelity situations, drunk driving, drugs, morbidly obese, several mortgages on their home if they even own it themselves. Nobody is coming to save us, folks. Not a single person is coming to your aid. If you think the government's going to do it, once I realized that I was the biggest blocker to my success, I was able to take responsibility, change my attitude, change my physical self, which helped me change my mental self, and helped me have a relationship with God. You can play the victim all you want, but you're gonna notice that you're gonna be victimized. Peace. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.